Hi, you're listening to Julie Taylor, and this is Julie and Company. Today, our guest is Maude Rondeau. Maude is the founder and president of Luminaire Authentik, a Canadian and Quebec-based company that we see more and more everywhere. Hi, Maude. I'm happy you're in studio today. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Maude, you are a woman who has a company that is very successful. You built it from 2015 to now, and I'm so curious to know what inspired you to start it.
That's a good question. I would say the lack of creativity that I was missing in my life at this moment. This particular moment when I was working in sales, traveling a lot, and I felt that I was missing something.
So for the creative process, you were exposed to creation and creativity for part of your life to find that it was missing, or is it something you sought out because there was something to fill?
I was definitely surrounded by creativity all my life because my mom is an artist. Yeah, we had to be creative. I'm not coming from a very
wealthy background,
yes,
or established background.
Established, or we had to move a lot from neighborhood to neighborhood in Montreal. And
what did your mom do?
She was an artist, a painter.
Yeah.
And then she worked in movies as well.
So that's a bit of the profile of a person who works on their own schedule, right? She wasn't working for a boss or a company. She
Absolutely.
was self-employed.
Absolutely.
All right. So I can see a connection there. Mm-hmm. So she was very creative. What about your father?
My father was the total opposite. He was working for Hydro-Québec, fonctionnaire, like a very bureau
métro dodo, like we say in French.
Exactly.
Right. So your dad had a steady job. Your mom was self-employed, creative, and so that's where it came from?
Definitely. It was the fact that we needed to... I was surrounded by that. We were painting together. We were like, it was there, and all my childhood, and I had to also create my own...
You had to create your own toys.
Yeah, no, I had to create my own toys, like, meaning I didn't have, like, the Barbie house. I was, like, kind of doing it with, like, stuff we had at home.
Like shoeboxes and...
Shoeboxes, rock, like... And I was happy with it. Like, it was kind of made me feel good to do something from nothing.
Yeah, I guess... For myself, I had to tap a lot into my imaginary, and I was a lonely child. Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have a sister, a older sister.
Okay.
Now we're very close. Back then, we were not. Like, we had like the 5 years difference, so I guess
that's a big age gap at that age.
Yeah.
So you were doing your own creations and
I was
living the life. You moved a lot, you said, from neighborhood to neighborhood?
We had to move a lot from neighborhood to neighborhood. My school was in the downtown of Montreal at Face, very creative school as well. And until we discovered the Myland neighborhood, where we stayed for a very long time, since it was like we kind of discovered what was the impact of a community or the lifestyle.
Wow. So you said having moved from different neighborhoods, your mom was single mom, right? You said at some point?
She was, yeah.
She was a single mom. She moved from neighborhood to neighborhood with you guys. You had to create your own toys, so creativity was part of the household. And in the neighborhood of Myland, which was your favorite place, you said, because there were a lot of shops and it had a sense of safety. Am I wrong?
Definitely.
So here you are doing many jobs. You have your own success. What did you study in, Maude?
I studied in business. I knew I wanted to create my own thing. I didn't know what, but I knew one day I was going to create my own company. I had so many ideas, I guess it's also so many frustration through the years with the company I was working for. I had like crazy ideas. I was always coming with like creative ideas that fits outside the box, I would say. And at some point I was like, well, that's it. I think I have to do it for myself. Mm-hmm. And I think I need to listen what's screaming inside me. And I was also, like I said, a lack of creativity. And it's at this moment that I decided to quit everything and to start looking around, just looking around in my life, playing with stuff, trying to do furniture, trying to do lights. And then this idea came up, and I was like, okay, that's it.
What was the idea?
It came from the fact that I moved to Bromont, and I was shopping for lights for my house. And I found that there was a lack of availability. Like, there was only IKEA or Chinese product or very expensive high-end lighting.
Designs.
So I was like, well, maybe this is something that could be interesting. Like, I feel that there's a lack in the offer. And then I had this concept of offering a way to be creative. It was to open the whole workshop to the clients so they can decide every step of the conception.
Wonderful. So lack of choice for what you were looking for when you were living in Bromont gave you to hone in on this idea.
Yeah.
So how did it start? I mean,
It's
the first lamp, what does it look like?
It started me in my garage trying to figure it out, how to fix the bulbs, the socket to the shade. And then the idea of the company all came into, I guess, 24 hours. I had to build my business plan. I was like, okay, that's it. Like, this is the way I want to do it. There's a lack of offer. I wanted to offer an accessible, beautiful, local design. And there was only one way to do it. I had to do everything myself. So I had to do the design, I had to do the manufacture, and I had to do the sales. So I could make a local product accessible.
So you're not a designer, but you were very creative.
Yeah.
You went to business school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about the business school. Where did you go?
In La Salle, Collège de La Salle.
Okay, so you did post-secondary, but you didn't do university per se.
No.
I think there's a lot of charm in that. I think a lot of people get tripped up on having to do university to start thinking of their lives after as a success. And I don't think that's true for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think that creative people ought to get into their creativity ASAP. And the deck offered you
Absolutely.
a really good 360 on what it would take to run a business.
Yeah, it was a very fast track. Like, it was efficient, and then I think all the rest is like there's a lot of
Trial and error, maybe? Oh, yeah. School, the school of life?
The school of life. Is that what we say?
Is that what we say?
Yeah. So there's a lot of school of life learning, I feel, and the travels, and with who you surround yourself.
Yeah. Hi, would you like to be on the show? Do you have any questions or ideas you'd like to share? Go to julietaylor.ca and leave me a message. So you have this idea. You're clear on what you want to do. It's aligned. You write your business plan in 24 hours. I guess you go online, you find a plan, you fill it in, what does that look like?
ChatGPT was not existing at this moment. No, I think I put up like a plan from BDC, I guess.
Exactly.
And I put it together, and I went to see the CLD and the Caisse Populaire, and I presented my plan, and they said, "Oh no, it's too audacious."
It's too audacious. It's too bold. It's
too bold. Okay. So you have to revise your plan, like lower your
expectations.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. Then
was it take your business plan and your proposal? Were you turning a profit in the first year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
That's too bold, honey.
Yeah. But you know what? The funny part is that the first year I did exactly what I had planned first. My first version of my business plan. So we were laughing about it after. I'm definitely when I want something, I go get it. I'm not scared of trying stuff. Like, what's the worst going to happen? Like, if it doesn't work. Yeah, I have a very strong feeling about, like, your gut feeling, what the little voice is telling you inside.
Yeah. So you trust your inner voice?
I trust my inner voice. It's so important.
Is that something that was cultivated in your youth? I mean, at what point did you connect to this inner voice?
That's a good question. I guess it was there for so many, I guess it's a sensibility of feeling energies and feeling things that maybe, I don't know where it came from. It went at some point in my life, but it's very present.
Are you Scorpio?
I'm not.
Capricorn?
Aries.
Aries. Well, there you go. The sign that's going to just
Fire.
go through. You can take that out because I made a mistake. No, I'm kidding. You've felt connected to this voice. You've always trusted it?
Always.
That's the gift.
Always. And when I decided to quit everything, quit my big job, and I was actually alone, and I had just moved to Bromont, and I bought a house. Everyone around me was like, "What are you doing? Like, are you nuts? You can't leave your beautiful, very rich job." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not happy. I'll make, like, what's the worst going to happen? Like, I have to try it. Like, if I'm not doing it now, when I'm going to do it?" The only person was around me that said, "You go, girl, go. I trust in you. I trust you. Just, you have to go there." It's my mom.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's been around me, like, since the beginning of my adventure, and always there to push me and to give me this confidence.
Wonderful. So you do a business plan, you're too bold, you go home, you revise it, you come back, so you get some financing or you start putting things together.
Yeah.
We're in 2015 now?
Yeah.
Okay. And you closed the year and with success. Were you selling straight out of that renovated church, you said?
Yeah.
So that was your first step. You were going to do your own store.
That was my first step. I had my workshop in my garage. My showroom was the little schoolhouse that I turned over into a showroom. And I was receiving clients on Saturdays. People could come. Also, it's another thing that I wanted to do for myself. And when I was living in Montreal, I was looking for activities to go in the Eastern Township. Yeah. And just to go out of this busy city. So I was like, oh, okay. So people will come, and it worked, and it was true. And people were like doing this as a trip also.
Maude, you're so sensitive because it seems to me that your product and your business plan and your alignment is really about cultivating in people their natural nature.
Absolutely.
Right? So
I guess I was also doing things that I personally thought that I was missing in my life.
Yeah.
Or things that I wish it would have, like, okay, I'm always in the urge of like looking for reason to go into Eastern Township, or I'm always in a way to find how I can nourish my creativity, and how I guess I was doing this for like my own purpose.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think we really need to choose our own alignment, because when we're doing really what is us, it spills over and nourishes perhaps community, others. And that's the fiber, I think, that connects all human beings. If you're really, really connected and personal with who you are, chances are you're universal in your values.
Absolutely.
And we connect to others. So, well, kudos to you. I think it's a beautiful way of approaching it, and so bold. And so you opened your first business. Were you working alone? Did you have an employee then?
I had very fast an employee, and then 3, 4, 5 at the garage for the first year. And then if we fast forward it to now, we're up to 40 employees, and we're now in the old Loblaws factory in Cowansville.
At the time, to do your marketing, you were targeting a clientele in Montreal, in the cities?
I was targeting architects and designers, and I was targeting everyone mainly from Montreal. But I created my own website. I was doing, my day was starting at like 7, and I was finishing at 12 at night. And I was doing the customer service, the design, the fabrication. I was doing the painting, the assemblage. And then on the Saturdays, I was selling in the little schoolhouse. So I think it's a good thing also that I touch all the aspects. It helps me now to understand when we have challenge in production chain, or like I did the paint, I did the assemblage, I know what I'm talking about. It's super easy, and it's great to transform or to to teach also.
So do you do some, I understand now you're a big operation, but at some point were you teaching people to do this, or were you collaborating with people who already were talented painters and, other trades that could do it, and you were just refining with them your vision, or did you have to teach it?
To teach.
Oh,
Yeah, there's no school for it's so specific. It's so, just the painting. It's a process that requires a lot of manual aspect, and it's very clean also. Yeah, so we had to teach all the aspect of how to build this model.
And how to assemble it, but also how to create it and paint it. That's wonderful. So it's truly unique to your idea and your vision and local.
Absolutely. Everything is local.
Tell me a bit about the local aspect of the business.
Well, I'm super proud to say that we're using, I would say, 80% of the component of our lights is around 30 kilometers of area around the shop. So all the glass is from a studio in Fredericksburg. All the shade are made from aluminum. That is Maude in Montreal and Bedford. And we try to use all local companies as well.
When I think of the environment, because we live in such a beautiful area, the nature is still almost as it was intended. It hasn't been played with so much, and it's lovely. So the Eastern Townships has a special place in our hearts, clearly. And the people that came before us took care of it that way. And I think it's our duty to take care of it going forward. So when I think of the townships and I think people who live here, they're so connected to nature. And for me, taking care of the environment is having local businesses.
Absolutely.
Because you're re-injecting salaries and money in your community. You are educating, you're creating a family, you're creating that connection. And plus, you're taking care of the environment because you are choosing materials that travel less far, that are probably renewable to the region, and so forth. So I'm happy to share your mission here. We're talking about authenticity. You're talking about starting your business, and it is a homegrown business, literally. The first shop opened in Bromont. And through your marketing, you reached out to Montreal people. You did everything yourself. What were the next layers and challenges for growing?
Well, there's a lot of challenges. For me, it was always to be on top of the game. So to be the first to constantly putting out there new collection, new colors, reaching out to architects and designers. And then I had to grow the team in Toronto as well. I had to travel and to do some trade shows. So we had this idea to turn over a food truck into a showroom. So I started to go around the city and from architects to present the product in a different way.
So this was after the studio. You had a shop in your truck and you went through Montreal, I guess Quebec, other areas. And you had invitations and you did events around the truck to show it? Were you gathering crowds? We were invited by CIDIM or shows from design because they thought the idea of having a food truck turn into a showroom was such a creative and funny idea. So I kind of had luck with that because I was invited for free in shows that usually you pay 15 grand for a weekend. And I was trying to always put some new ways of doing communication and how to get the attention of your clients in a simple way. But I never kind of did real marketing. It was about to word and just the aspect of doing all to have the option of creating your own lights, bake the product their own. So then the word of mouth, make it it's the organic marketing is like doing it itself. What I understand is that you thought in the process of creating your own item, you are helping the story of Luminaire Authentik.
Absolutely.
And you're sharing that. So for you, that was your vision of doing the organic marketing.
Yeah.
Let it take care of itself. I'll take care of my client. I'll do a good product. There's a lot of things to manage in a business, clearly.
Yeah.
And luckily, this marketing has paid off.
It did. And I think by offering, like, to open the workshop to either architects and designers, that they are proud to work on unique
Pieces
design
that they can collaborate on.
They can create their own, because we also have the aspect of doing custom lights fixture for specific projects, but also the fact that we offer 60 colors. They're sure that they're not going to find the same lights in another concept from another restaurant. So I think that's the little recipe that they feel, and it's fun because they can really let go their creativity as well.
That's wonderful. So they can unleash their creativity, do something that is going to be unique, and in a collaboration where it's not given everyone that they can do lights or huge art pieces as lighting, but through you, they could let that voice exist as well. That's so wonderful. So as we were talking, you said that you came at a time in your life where you were missing creativity and you had to make a change. And so you connected to your business idea. And now I hear that throughout your instigating sales and connecting clients and customers to your product, you really wanted them to go on that journey of creation themselves.
Absolutely.
Just as you felt it nourished you.
Definitely. I think you can tell in their eyes when they come, and they're like, it's kind of a candy store for adults. They come and they can select everything. When you talk about like sur mesure, a designer is creating you a personalized dress, or it's haute couture, or it's kind of offering this, but we make it accessible.
That's right. So you're offering something that is unique to the client's personality, and they get to enjoy the process with you. So you support them in that creation.
Absolutely. We're supporting them, but we want to let them feel and go to this area, which sometimes it could be a bit tricky for some people, but we're always there to direct them if they need to.
You started in a small studio doing everything, and now you're in a bigger studio. Tell me about your latest acquisition. Do you want to tell me about where you are now with your manufacturing here in Quebec?
We moved in an old low blouse factory, and then we turned it over into the workshop. So we have around 20,000 square foot of the workshop, and then in the front section where we can recognize the architecture and the window, I created l'atelier destination design, where we have many other company connects to design under the same roof.
And your intention is still to produce and ship out of the Eastern Townships. You still have a radius of 30 kilometers where you're getting your products from. And I fell in love with the collection, with the organic shapes and the stones, but now you're doing the collection called Chrome. Do you want to tell me about it?
Yeah, we just launched it, I guess, a few weeks ago, and it's made of mirror.
Yeah, it's made of mirror, yeah.
Yeah.
Encore commence, vas-y.
We launched the collection just a few weeks ago, and it's made of mirror.
Okay,
so
it's called Chrome. It's shiny.
It's shiny. It's tinted. It felt
sexy.
It's super. Yes, it's very, very nice, but very in an organic way and unique as well.
I look forward to seeing that. Maude, your plans for expansion?
We do have just opened up a pop-up store in New York. Our plan is to expand some flagship through the U.S. We're looking also to open up a new store in Vancouver and to extend the actual one we have in Toronto.
Maude, it's a pleasure meeting you, to see such a beautiful success in less than 10 years. And throughout your message, to understand that your message about Luminaire Authentik is to listen to your own authentic voice.
So,
thank you.